What's going on, world? My name is Serial Sensei, and for today I got 5 more Switch hidden gems. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Raji, an Ancient Epic is an action-adventure game that takes place in ancient India, and it follows the story of Raji, who finds herself going up against an army of demons who had kidnapped her younger brother Golu, and now she's got to stop the demons. She's got to end this great war that's going on that the demons caused, and she's got to go get her little bro back. Now, I actually originally played this game in 2020 when it first released, and I was not aware until very recently that they released a free enhancement update, and that improved the visuals, it improved the animation, the combat, and a few other bugs and fixes that they made. So now, more than ever, is a good time to get into Raji, an Ancient Epic, if you never got the chance to. Now, the visuals of this game are gorgeous, from the cutscenes to the in-game locations. You just see so much unique architecture, and the locations kind of help tell the story also. It's not just for pretty looks. It dives a lot into Indian culture and Hindu mythology, which admittedly I don't really know much of anything about, but they give you a lot of talking parts in this game that kind of explain it. The talking parts are a little long-winded, but they provide additional lore, and the voice acting is pretty good, so I kind of give it a pass. I'll kind of deal with it. Now, gameplay wise, you're going to get a good mix of combat, you're going to get some platforming and some puzzle solving, and with this enhanced update, I could definitely feel that the combat just plays a lot smoother compared to the first time that I played it back in 2020. Raji is fast, she is nimble, and when it comes to action, she's got some pretty good variety going on throughout the game. You're going to get to unlock some different weapons. You start off with a spear, but you'll end up getting a bow and get some other things. Not going to mention them, I want you to unlock them and experience it for yourself. And she also has elements that she can attach to her weapons, so you're going to start off with the thunder, and then you get some additional elements along the way as you continue to progress throughout the game. And Raji is an acrobat. She can run off walls, backflip off walls, run on walls. She can spin on these little pole structure things, all while still attacking enemies. So she's really about this life. And the puzzles of this game, a lot of them will have you rotating these little pieces of a picture, and when the picture becomes whole, it normally unlocks some additional lore. It's normally like a picture that shows something in Raji's past, or just something that explains more of the story. And there are these other puzzles where you kind of got to rotate these little pieces of a tree thing. I don't really know what it is, but the environment moves while you do it, so I think it's kind of cool. I kind of like it. But from the action to the story to the visuals, Raji, an Ancient Epic is a really solid game. And like I said, man, with this update, it is definitely worth trying. As of this recording, it is on sale right now in the eShop until September 8th, 2023. So if you have not given Raji, an Ancient Epic a look, go give it a shot. Nocturnal is an action platformer where you play as a gentleman named Ardashir, whose name I hopefully didn't butcher. My bad if I did. But Ardashir is a soldier of the Enduring Flame, and he pulls up back to his home island to see that there are no more flames, nothing is burning, there is no light. The place has been covered in this mysterious dark mist, and he kind of has to find the source of the mist and also locate his sister, who's gone missing. Now, the first thing I can say about Nocturnal, love the 2D art. While the locations aren't the most creative, the game is just really pretty and gorgeous to look at. And on the gameplay front, you'll be dealing with some action, some platforming, and some puzzle solving, and somewhat reminiscent of Curse of the Dead Gods for those who played that game. Nocturnal relies heavily on this kind of light and dark mechanic. So you have a sword that when it's lit by the flames, it gets stronger, and it can help you see through the foggy mist of the game when the areas get really dark. And you also have to use it to help you solve puzzles. But the flame does not last forever, as you can see if you direct your eyes to the bottom of the screen where that bar is. So you got to keep the flame lit as long as you can while you're fighting and traversing, so you'll always be at an advantage and literally not get swallowed up by the darkness. And I really like this use of the light and dark, especially with the combat. It made everything feel a little more intense, and it provided just a little bit of extra challenge that I enjoy in my games. Now, throughout the game, you'll be collecting letters, and there are a few NPCs you'll come across, and they kind of provide additional lore and just kind of keep the story rolling along. There are also upgrades that you're going to be able to get that give you just additional moves and attributes. Nothing really too crazy. It's kind of basic, but it gets the job done. The platforming in the game is pretty solid and actually speedrunner friendly for those who are into that kind of thing. I really like the sections of the game where you'll be running through an area and you have to keep lighting flames along the way while you're running, and you'll be fighting at the same time. But you have to keep the flames on the torches lit so that you don't get swallowed up by the darkness. And those sections are actually kind of fun. They're a little tough, but they're rewarding when you finally do finish them. And as someone who enjoys platformers, if there was one critique that I had about Nocturnal, my main one is that the camera is not always your best friend. There were times where I felt like I was just moving too fast and the camera didn't keep up with me, so I just died while I was jumping. I was getting like I'd be getting chased by something and I'm trying to jump to the next platform, but the camera's just not following me fast enough, so I can't really see where I'm jumping, so I just kind of fall, and you know, that's just kind of the end of that. But yeah, the camera could have used some work, and I wish the combat was a bit more deep. I wish it had a little more variety. It's not bad, but I feel like if they would have just went a little deeper with the combat, it could have really kicked this game up to the next level. But with all that said, I still enjoyed Nocturnal from start to finish. Love the art direction, love the animation, low key. Kind of like the soundtrack too. Soundtrack was pretty good, and the flame mechanic, like I said, it was well done. It gave me just the right amount of challenge that I like in my action platformers. Nocturnal is not a very long game. Just be something good to play if you just kind of need something to hold you over until the next big thing comes out. So if you like action platformers, go ahead and give Nocturnal a look. Valfaris is a brutal 2D heavy metal run and gun action platformer where violence is the order of the day. So you already know this is my kind of game. You'll be taking the role of Therion, who goes back to his home planet of Valfaris, which reappeared from out of nowhere after it had vanished from the galactic charts, and now Therion has to go back, pull up on his home planet, kill all the evil that's taken over, and he got some beef with his pappy. So you know, that's the thing too. The action in Valfaris it's fast paced. This game moves a mile a minute. It almost gives me a similar feeling to like the 2016 Doom, but just in like a 2D form. And you'll be fighting all kinds of aliens, creatures, and just random monstrosities throughout the game. And you'll be mowing them down with so many different weapons. When you start, you're gonna have a plasma pistol and a sword and a shield that you can use to block and repel enemy projectiles. But soon you're gonna be toting shotguns, flamethrowers. There's a gun that has like the spirit beam thing. We got rocket launchers. It's different kinds of swords. It's so many just different instruments of violence that can be found in this game, and it's so much fun because this what Valfaris is, just fun. It's just raw, uncut, unfiltered, just brutal fun. Now, while Valfaris is linear for the most part, there are secrets to be found, so make sure that you check every corner of every room that you're in, because exploration in this game will reward you. Outside of, you know, finding new weapons, which you can find while you're exploring, you'll also be collecting these resurrection idols and blood metal. Now, the resurrection idols you can place at certain spots on each stage, and they basically serve as checkpoints. Now, if you're really about that life, you can forego using the idol, and you can skip the checkpoint, and in exchange, your health and your energy bar will actually go up, because the more idols that you hold on to, the higher your energy bar and your health bar go. So there's kind of this risk reward system. So, you know, if you just want a guaranteed checkpoint, go ahead, drop that idol off and use the checkpoint. Or if you don't want to play it safe, if you're really about this life and you just want your health bar to be stronger, go ahead, hold on to that idol and just keep it pushing. But if you die, you got to go all the way to the back of the line because you chose not to use the checkpoint. So, you know, you just got to keep that in mind. And the blood medals that you collect, those are used to upgrade your weapons. So just make sure, you know, you're looking at every corner. You got to find all these collectibles because they actually do, all of them really do benefit you. And man, just with the variety of weapons that you get in Valfaris, loads of enemies to kill. The boss fights are fun, they're challenging, the platforming is solid, and the game is just non-stop action. Like this is a no-brainer. Like if you're a fan of running guns, this is literally a no-brainer. And also worth of note, the sequel to this game, Valfaris Mechatherion, is on the way. As of now, I don't believe it has a confirmed release date. I'm hoping we'll see it by the end of 2023, maybe early 2024 at the latest. So be on the lookout for that. But in the meantime, this is a great one. Cop Valfaris if you have not played this game. It is definitely worth your time. Now, before I get started talking about this game, just going to throw out a quick disclaimer for transparency purposes. I have not finished this game yet, and you won't see a ton of different areas in the game footage because I've been out here getting my face kicked in. But I wanted to put this game on the list because the more that I'm playing it, the more I'm actually really starting to enjoy it. And the game in question is Pascal's Wager, the definitive edition. Now, Pascal's Wager is a Souls-like action RPG where you play as Terrence, who's what's called a courier, and kind of like my little bootleg abridged version of the story from what I've gathered so far. The sun apparently fell into the sea. That led to a dark mist clouding the lands. That seems to be a theme of today in this video. And then these beings known as Colossus or Colossi showed up, and they brought light to the darkness. And then they fell from an illness. They didn't take their tussin, so now they gone. They up out of here. And now you're basically investigating the lands, trying to figure out the truth behind the darkness, and also locate your wife, who may or may not have some wild part in this story. I haven't figured it out yet because I ain't finished it. But the story here is actually kind of dark, it's kind of grim, and it is matched by the atmosphere and the world design, the look, and the tone in this game, which all of that is honestly done pretty well. You would not know looking at this game this was actually originally a mobile game. I don't think had I not told you that, I don't think a lot of you would have guessed it, which to me just makes this even more impressive. Outside of beating Sekiro, listen, I'm not a Souls-like expert in the least, but based on what I've played so far of Pascal's Wager, to me it has everything that you would need for an enjoyable Souls-like experience. In Souls-like fashion, of course, the game is challenging if you are not on your P's and Q's with your timing and your reactions and just knowing what to do. You will get clapped up out here repeatedly. You will die a lot, but I enjoy the challenge, so I'm up for it. The upgrade and crafting system in Pascal's Wager is actually pretty dope, man. Of course, you get to upgrade your simple things, your strength, your dexterity, your vitality, etc., etc. But you can also upgrade these things called talents, which are split into 4 different categories. And upgrading these can do anything from granting you additional moves to add to your combos, or increasing the number of health potions that you can carry. They can do all kinds of things, and I really like this system because it really does help you like make kind of like a character build, and it makes the items that you pick up feel actually important while you're out slaying enemies, because the items you can actually use to do all of these upgrades. But my favorite thing about Pascal's Wager so far has been this combat, and it is specifically because you can switch between different characters, and they all have their own distinct playstyles. Now, I only have 3 characters unlocked so far, and I believe there are 5 in total. But me and my 3, man, we out here, we holding it down. We getting beat up a little bit, but we trying. So we got the homie Terrence. He's the main character. He's kind of a dual wielding swordsman. He's got some pretty good combos, some good movements. We got Norwood, who's out here running around with one arm and a coffin on his back, but he is smacking people with the coffin. Like, I don't know about you, I'm not testing the gangster of nobody who's carrying a coffin on their back, yet alone smacking people with it. But yeah, no, Norwood's pretty strong with the coffin. Then we got the homie Viola. She got the blicky out here. She's getting busy with the guns. And like I said, there are some other characters that I haven't even unlocked yet, so I don't know what they can do. But I really like these varying styles of the characters. It makes the combat so much fun. And it adds some strategy. You get to, just pick the other character that you want to bring along with you for the area that you're in. Just keep in mind, you can only pick between 2 characters at a time. But if there was one drawback to this game that takes me out of it, it would be the voice acting. And it sucks because I feel like the story, like there's definitely a story here, there's some lore here, and it seems pretty good, but the voice acting is so flat. I could describe it, but I'm gonna just let you listen to it real quick.
No, absolutely not.
You seem to have a prejudice against Norwood.
In this dark mist, you should never trust someone too easily.
What about me?
That's different.
I'll watch out for him.
Is that your gut feeling again?
Yeah, I don't know. Something about that delivery to me is just kind of, I'm not really feeling it. But aside from that, man, Pascal's Wager Definitive Edition is actually a really solid Souls-like game. this is definitely one that might not have been on your radar. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't played it, and you enjoy Souls-like games, this is something you should definitely pick up on the Nintendo Switch. Similar to my disclaimer for Pascal's Wager, gonna put the same disclaimer for this game. I have not finished it yet, but with the few hours that I have played it, I really enjoy this gameplay enough to give it a spot on the list. And this game is for my folks who love platforming, especially if you like speedrunning. This is definitely for you. And the game I'm talking about is called Afterthought. Now, I am no speedrunner, but I do enjoy my platforming, so Afterthought was a game for me. And I really like that this platforming is designed to be as intricate or as simple as you want it to be, depending on what kind of player that you are. And the soundtrack matches perfectly to this game's atmosphere. You're going to be dashing, you're going to be sliding, jumping, and flipping through all of these different various stages. And this artwork is very beautiful and unique. And you're gonna be just running and dashing with just style and speed, and I don't know, it's fun. I'm really liking this so far. Throughout the game, you will be unlocking different abilities that will help you traverse, through certain obstacles, and most importantly, they're gonna help you, get through the stages faster. So you're gonna start with a dash. Eventually, gonna get this wind ability. I'm not gonna spoil the rest of them, but you're just gonna get a lot of different techniques that you can use. And I like the fact that every move, the game teaches you how to use every move in the fashion that you need to, so that you can get through the stages in a pretty respectable time. And what I really like is that if you want to practice these new abilities, they have like these little challenges that you can do that kind of help you master each ability, so that when you go back to the main story, you'll have a better idea of what you're doing, and you'll have a good idea of how you need to use that move to help you, traverse with your platforming. And another cool thing about Afterthought is that you can take damage in this game via like these little red orbs that you don't want to touch unless you're blocking. There's a block mechanic that you can use to kind of get around them. You can also take damage from boss fights, which I've only done a few. The boss fights in the game are actually kind of wild, but the damage in the game never actually kills you. Instead, what happens is if you continually get hit, the game just slows it down. It just kind of gives you a better chance to see where you're going, and it'll just slow things down for you, but you never actually die. And if you don't like the run you're doing altogether, it's easy to just restart the stage and you can do the whole stage over again. The stages haven't really been that long, so it's not really a big deal if you want to restart the stage from the beginning. As I mentioned earlier, visually, man, I love this artwork. It is a treat for the eyes. And I really love that the gameplay was really made in a way where a casual could pick this up and have fun, but the most hardcore of hardcore speedrunner could also pick this up. The game works both ways and really fits both audiences, so I thought that was really dope. There are a few negatives I've had with the game in my time with it. I do believe I encountered a bug where it wouldn't let me finish a stage. I had to exit the stage and beat the entire stage over so it would let me progress. And also, the story has not really connected with me yet. All I can really gather so far is that the main protagonist, she's stuck in some kind of, seems like I don't know if it's a time loop or just a loop in general, but outside of that, I don't really know what's going on. There's this random guy that she talks to, but just the conversations haven't really connected yet. And you get these little cutscenes in between stages where you can kind of see more of this beautiful environment, but just so far, it's not, the whole thing hasn't really connected with me. I don't really understand what's going on so far, but strictly from a gameplay perspective, this is some good platform. It's some very unique, intricate platforming that they got going on here. So if you like platformers, and if you want something a little more unique, something a little more out there, I definitely think Afterthought is a game that you should give a look. Now, listen, man, the gems, they don't stop here, bro. Listen, if you're new to the channel, go check my back catalog. I've got 2 other Switch Hidden Gems videos. I'll leave links for those in the description below. I even got a PS3 Hidden Gems video that you should go check out. Listen, when I play stuff that I think is cool, I don't hoard the goods for myself. I come on here and I talk about them because I want to share them with y'all, and we can all share gems with each other, man. That's what we're here for. Hopefully I can, put somebody on to what might be their next favorite game, or the next game that they just really get excited about playing. So go check out all of my back content. I probably got something in there for you. That's all I've got for today. It's your boy Serial Sensei. Y'all stay safe, y'all stay hydrated, and I will catch you on the next video.